A once-in-a-generation spectacle. This is the scene live in northern Spain, one of the places about to witness a total eclipse of the sun. The countdown is also on in Iceland. They'll be the first to experience totality in just under 2 hours' time. It is the most significant eclipse in the UK since 1999. Here the moon will cover 90% of the sun. Millions are gathering across Europe, all vying for the perfect spot to experience a unique natural phenomenon. Well, our teams of correspondents are out in the path of the eclipse across the UK and Europe. We'll bring you every moment here on BBC News. This is Solar Eclipse Live. Hello and welcome to this BBC News special as we count down to the first total solar eclipse in a generation. Not long to wait now. In the next hour we'll get the first partial eclipse in Greenland, then Iceland, ahead of a total eclipse there, then a 90% eclipse across the UK, then another total eclipse a little later in Spain. Stay with us on BBC News. We'll be live across Europe and the UK with our teams of correspondents in the path of the eclipse. We'll also speak to experts and hear from eclipse chasers who've travelled thousands of miles to witness this extraordinary cosmic spectacle.
And you'll see all of it getting present.
A once-in-a-generation spectacle as the total solar eclipse of the sun begins in Iceland. These are the live pictures in northern Spain, one of the places about to witness a total eclipse. It's the most significant eclipse the UK will see since 1999. Here the moon will cover about 90% of the sun. Hello, I'm Vaughan Jones. Welcome to our special coverage here on BBC News of the solar eclipse, and we are underway. As you can see, it has started there in Iceland. So these are 4 separate cameras pointing all at the sun from different parts of the world. And on the top right hand side, you can see there Iceland, and you can see the moon beginning to nibble away there at the sun to start its journey across the face of the sun. Now, a truly stunning sight. And just as a reminder, we have filters on our cameras, so things are looking a little bit darker than they actually are. So the point of maximum impact coming up. We're well underway with the eclipse here, and our special coverage continues now with my colleague Sophie Raworth.
You're watching BBC News. I'm Sophie Raworth, live here at the Royal Observatory in Greenwich in London as this partial solar eclipse is already underway. A very strange, shadowy, greyish kind of light that we are getting this evening. But this is going to be an experience that we once in a generation solar eclipse. Now, millions of people, both here and in the UK and across Europe, are going to experience this celestial phenomenon as the moon moves between the Earth and the sun, bringing partial darkness to what was a very warm summer evening. Adrian Murray, thank you so much. Live there from Iceland, and the partial solar eclipse is still going actually here in London. It's very nearly over, but it is still going up there in the sky. So we are going to end now by reliving the experience of something we didn't see here, but they have got in Iceland and they certainly got in Spain, and that is the total solar eclipse. We will leave you now with that eclipse as it happened.
Things are moving very quickly on the ground. It's getting suddenly very cold and very dark. Less than 30 seconds to go Watch for the flash, watch for the diamond ring, and watch for the shimmering corona.
¿Qué pasará, tío? ¿Para qué te la pastilla? ¿Qué pasará? ¿Qué pasará? ¿Quién tiene el móvil?
A shimmering pearl hanging in the night sky.
¡Qué bonito! Aguanta minuto, que aguanta minuto, que no la tiene.
You may have heard cheers around me.
¿Cómo cojones no miras ahí? ¿Cómo cojones no puedes mirar ahí? Es imposible. ¡Qué pasada!
I have to say, this is one of the most spectacular eclipses I've seen, low on the horizon. And you can see quite clearly the red eruptions. These are huge nuclear reactions on the face of the sun. You normally don't see them. They're many times the size of the Earth. And the stars are coming out. The planets are visible. And all of a sudden, this is an eerie feeling. Oh, the diamond ring effect, the eclipse is about to end.
Hello, you're watching BBC News, and for once our top story is not about politicians, wars or financial markets. It is about one of nature's greatest spectacles, the cosmic drama of an eclipse where day briefly becomes night as the moon blots out the sun. Millions of people have been gazing towards the skies just to get a glimpse. Well, the eclipse's path started in Siberia in Russia. Well, thank you so much for describing it to us. Lovely to have you on the programme. It's Adrian Murray there, who's on that peninsula in Iceland watching the eclipse there. Well, we're going to have more coverage of the eclipse in the coming hours here on BBC News, so do stay tuned. Hello again, you're watching BBC News special coverage of the eclipse, and there are moments when millions of people on this planet seem to hold their breath, and a solar eclipse is one of those moments for people in the United Kingdom, where we are, and also across Western Europe. The sky changed, the light faltered, and for a few extraordinary minutes the familiar suddenly became really very strange, but also intensely memorable. Well, the path of total eclipse crossed Greenland, Iceland and Spain, the sun disappearing completely behind the moon, just its corona shining out from the great black disk obscuring it. In the UK, it was a partial eclipse, the sun more than 90% obscured. Mark McCorkran, thanks very much for speaking to us here on BBC News about your experience. Now, let's just leave you with some of the sights and the sounds of the best moments of those total and partial eclipses over the last few hours.
We've just actually had first contact, so we can now start to see the moon moving in front of the sun.
This is a once in a lifetime opportunity.
So what we'll actually experience is the moon sliding in front of the sun.
General public as well, they are interested in science and they like to know what's going on above their heads, and so they should. And an event like this can really put things in perspective for them.
The atmosphere, when we get totality, that the darkness, the still nature of the environment, but also the corona around the sun, the patterns of rays. Looking forward to that.
And here we go, the sunlight starting to burst out from the right-hand side as the moon continues.
Hello, live from London. This is BBC News with me, Ben Brown. A once-in-a-generation solar eclipse is viewed by millions of people across the United Kingdom and Europe. The eclipse was visible across large parts of Europe, with a rare total eclipse seen in Iceland and in Spain. Our science correspondent Palab Ghosh was moved by the spectacle.
These are tears of awe and delight and emotion. I'm slightly welling up myself, if I'm honest. I'm just kind of slightly blown over by what I've just seen.
Here in the UK, the eclipse drew people out into the streets, into their back gardens, onto beaches and into observatories. It has been the most significant eclipse in the UK since 1999. In other news, 3 days of mourning have been declared in Colombia for the victims of the earthquake on Monday that has killed more than 200 people. Football superstar Lionel Messi says he has serious doubts about continuing to play the game for much longer after the death of his father. Hello, full coverage of the eclipse, the extraordinary eclipse that we've been seeing coming up in the next few minutes. But I want to start with some breaking news that is coming into us from the United States. And the White House press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, is to stand down at the end of the month. President Trump has announced that. He said she had been one of his most trusted aides, 28-year-old Caroline Leavitt. Well done you, and I'm glad you enjoyed it, and everybody you were with as well. Herlin Kaur, BBC journalist, who was watching that partial eclipse over the UK from Primrose Hill in London. We'll take a short break, back in just a moment. This is BBC News. Hello again, you're watching BBC News with me, Ben Brown. Look at our latest news headlines. And a once-in-a-generation solar eclipse has been viewed by millions of people here in the UK and across Europe. The eclipse was visible in many countries, with a rare total eclipse seen in Iceland and in Spain. In other news, Caroline Leavitt is to step down as the White House press secretary. President Donald Trump has hailed her as one of my most trusted aides. 3 days of mourning have been declared in Colombia for the victims of the earthquake on Monday that killed more than 200 people. And the football superstar Lionel Messi has said that he's got serious doubts about whether he'll continue to play the game for much longer after the death of his father. Let's bring you more on that breaking news coming in from Washington, that the White House press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, is stepping down from her role. That news came from the President, Donald Trump, on a Truth Social post, saying that she had been one of the best White House press secretaries in the history of the office. The Russian President Vladimir Putin has threatened to seize European ships in retaliation for EU plans to intercept vessels suspected of being part of Russia's shadow fleet. He described restrictions on the movement of Russian vessels as piracy and banditry. Russia has been operating what's known as a shadow fleet, ships which sail without a valid national flag in an attempt to evade international oil sanctions. Football now, and the Argentinian superstar Lionel Messi has said that he's unsure how much longer he's going to continue playing football. All right, Marcella, thank you so much for talking to us about Lionel Messi. Let's just take you back to our top story then, that total solar eclipse which has passed across Europe for the first time in 27 years. We'll leave you to some of the sights and the sounds of the last few extraordinary hours.
We've just actually had first contact, so we can now start to see the moon moving in front of the sun.
This is a once in a lifetime opportunity.
So what we'll actually experience is the moon sliding in front of the sun.
General public as well, they are interested in science and they like to know what's going on above their heads, and so they should. And an event like this can really put things in perspective for them.
The atmosphere, when we get totality, that the darkness, the still nature of the environment, but also the corona around the sun, the patterns of rays. Looking forward to that.
And here we go, the sunlight starting to burst out from the right-hand side as the moon continues to move.
Oh my goodness. I have literally got goosebumps. It's not just from the cold, it's about the spectacle that I've just witnessed. This reminds us of what it is to be human.
Hello, it was hot today, 35 degrees in western